Why is supporting not-for-profits and being involved in the community a big part of leadership?
Well, I think when you step back and from a values perspective, then I jump into the leadership perspective, understanding what your value proposition is as an organization is critical to your success. And for Valley, there are 5,500 other banks in the entire country. So what is our value proposition? How are we different? And our connectedness to our communities, our connectedness with our customers, our connectedness with our employees, that's what really drives the differentiation. And how we think about our communities is really impactful with regard to our value proposition. So as an organization, it's critical that we understand our community's needs. As a leader, I think it's just as critical. You know, if I was to sit as CEO of another organization, the initiatives, the drive, the focus that we would have, I would imagine would be very different if I was to be connected with the community. So for us to stay present within the communities is critical. It's not just giving money, but it's the volunteer that we do, the engagement that we do, and really trying to understand what the communities need.
We talked about the biggest leadership lesson you had learned at the time. What is it now?
I think a lot's changed as the country's evolved, as many of the people that have been impacted by COVID has changed. But from a leadership perspective, I think understanding the importance of your team becomes critical, and the capabilities that your team has during this process. And the importance of making sure that you have the right team is really critical. I would say, you know, the other important piece becomes the purpose and aligning purpose of an organization with its employees for not just for a shareholder to understand, but for your employees to understand what the purpose of that organization is. In my mind, has never been more critical, and we've been able to really see the benefits through this whole PPP process, as well as everything that happened with COVID. And then thirdly, I would say communication and making sure that we do a really strong job communicating with our employees and being honest with them, transparent with them, being engaged and having empathy as to what they're all dealing with. You know, we have employees that have been horribly impacted by COVID. We had one employee who lost her mother, father, and brother within 1 week. For me to sit here and act like I have an absolute understanding or any understanding as to what that feels like would just be total nonsense. We have other employees that haven't been impacted by it at all, and they're critical as to what the governor's done and what some others have done. And it's important for an entire organization to really understand that we are an organization of 3,165 people, not just one person.
This edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba is brought to you by Valley Bank, the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, New Jersey Sharing Network, Prager Metis, the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA, and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ, and Commerce Magazine.